A paz por um fio. Em uma ligação telefônica, China e Estados Unidos discutiram o conflito entre Rússia e Ucrânia. A conversa entre os líderes das duas maiores potências econômicas aconteceu depois que representantes de cada país fizeram discursos sobre sanções econômicas e possíveis consequências caso a China apoie a Rússia, porque apesar dos reiterados pedidos pelo fim do conflito, a China ainda não condenou explicitamente a ação militar da Rússia.
The U.S. is very concerned about statements that the Chinese leadership has made in support of Russia, not necessarily its invasion of Ukraine, but in general, a sort of partnership, a friendship without limits. Russia is not now the most desirable partner to have. They're not the most attractive partner. So there's reputational risks for China in taking the position that they did. And in addition to the reputational risks, there's also economic risks because depending on the extent of assistance that they provide the Russians, they could also suffer economic consequences.
Mas os Estados Unidos estão em posição de realmente fazer frente à China, seu maior parceiro comercial? Qualquer sanção imposta ao país vai inevitavelmente machucar também os americanos.
The exports from the U.S. to China account for about 1 million jobs here in this country. And if you take into account the indirect jobs that are created by the 1 million jobs, that's probably another 4 million. So that's 5 million jobs are dependent on U.S.-China trade, the export part. And then, of course, the imports from China also create jobs, a lot of jobs, maybe more than just exports.
A interdependência entre China e Estados Unidos é tanta que passou a ser vista como incômodo, sobretudo para os republicanos.
Trade war that started under President Trump a few years ago is still raging. The tariffs are still in place, and they have been a drag on the trade situation between the U.S. and China. Republicans tend to be more anti-China than the Democrats do. Both of them are negative. Public opinion in the United States is negative towards China and its behavior. Public opinion in China is negative towards the United States. So you have, all of this anger, suspicion, paranoia, and it's not the best environment for making progress.
A conturbada relação econômica entre China e Estados Unidos começou na década de 1970, mas vive seu ápice agora. Em dezembro do ano passado, a nação de Xi Jinping registrou superávit comercial de quase 40 bilhões de dólares apenas nas relações com os americanos. Isso acontece mesmo com a guerra tarifária iniciada por Donald Trump e mantida ainda hoje. Os desentendimentos políticos e econômicos fazem com que tanto a China quanto os Estados Unidos busquem diminuir a dependência e, consequentemente, os investimentos feitos no outro país.
China is trying to become more self-reliant, especially in areas where it feels vulnerable, like the higher performing computer chips. It can't make them now itself. So it depends on, in particular, the United States, which has placed restrictions on what it is willing to sell and share for national security reasons. On the U.S. side, we're also committed to more self-sufficiency, less dependence on China as the factory of the world. So what does that mean? It may mean that there's going to be, less globalization, and that means maybe less trade. It could be less innovation, and all of the increases in the standard of living, particularly among the poor, that we've seen in the last 20 years, could stop or go into reverse. That's the worry, is that the world is moving away from interdependence and internationalization, globalization, and setting up these sort of like-minded, ideologically minded trading blocs and political affiliations.